Hello, welcome. It's June the 11th, and it's the Flyer team doing what we're doing, the live stream again. There you go. So, welcome. Glad to see you're here. I'm going to kick off slightly differently with the competition this week because basically, in order to win, you need to do some work and put some answers in the chats. So before I do that, sorry, I forgot a little bit of housekeeping. So if we got the technology right, this is streaming direct on Facebook and direct on YouTube. So the good thing about that is that we can see all of the comments on both. But if you're on YouTube, you can't see Facebook, and if you're Facebook, you can't see YouTube. But we can see you just might not see the question. You'll just have to guess a bit, I'm afraid. Anyway, the competition, PPL starter kit. We have got this thanks to our good friends at Pooley's. Let me just, very good friends. I had a little, where did I have? I had a Pooley's logo. There you go. I stuck a Pooley's logo up for a little while. Got to be honest, in 2017, we ran a feature on a PPL kit, and Pooley's put this together for us. And I was in the office the other day and found it in a corner. So we thought we'd better give it away. So here's the bag. If you're learning in a Cessna 150, then you're kind of screwed because this is bigger than a Cessna 150, this bag. But wait, as they say, that's not all. No, there is much, much more. There is a Pooley's logbook, complete. And it's even got blank pages. But what's the point? Just imagine the fun, the emotion, the fear, the joy that this logbook is going to be filled with one day. So, plus, that's not all. Wait, no, you've got pens. You've got a black one, a green one. Anyway, coloured pens on charts, all that flight planning stuff. Plus, you've got a ruler or a scale, I think they call it. Plus, look at this, a knee board. Everyone needs a knee board. Plug, remember those? Put that on your knee, write things down, that kind of thing. Plus, books and tokens and electronic things. Plus, a Square Drinks coaster. Plus, a calculator of some kind that you can do calculations with. Plus, a CRP1 whiz wheel instrument of torture. All of that, and all you've got to do is put in the what's going on there? All you got to do is put in the comments. Tell us about your favourite aeroplane, and if we agree with you, and we like what you're saying, you can win. If we disagree with you, you won't win. But we're not going to tell you what it is, I'm afraid. We'll announce the winner hopefully at the end, or if not, we'll review the comments afterwards and put it up. So anyway, what else we got? We've been looking at the sites, and we've picked the aircraft for sale sites, and we've kind of picked our favourite buys and our worst buys. So we'll go through those shortly. A quick catch up on the issue, then we'll cover the news for the week. And if you've got any questions, we'll see what we can do with those along the way. So let's kick this off. Don't forget, before I go, enter your thing. What's your favourite aircraft? Why? And then you can win that amazing, huge haul of PPL training stuff. So I am going to share this screen, if I can. There you go. And we're going to kick off with Dave. Dave's been going around the site. So is this your favourite, Dave? Over to you. Tell us about it.
Well, this is not exactly my favourite, but I thought this was a good buy. It looked like a real bargain. It's 10 acres of land, grassland, with an airstrip in Florida. And the cost is $89,500 US. That's about 70 grand in UK money.
About £89,500 at the moment, isn't it?
It'll come back. But look at it. It's fantastic. It's in northern Florida, which isn't the most pretty bit of Florida, but it's still Florida, and it's still got grassland. It's 10 acres, vacant plot. You can build what you like. It's in a place called Jasper, which, as far as I can see, is in the middle of nowhere. But I-10 runs past it, not very far away. Anyway, that's my best. And I found this, of course, on Trader Plane, which if you ever remember the big, thick, yellow magazine packed full of small ads at something like 4.5 point text. That's no longer around, unfortunately, but the website is pretty good. So Trader Plane. So that was my best find of the week.
So we call that? Would that be called Dave Alago?
Yes. And but this will be my moment of madness, which it's a Gazelle helicopter, basically. This is for sale in Southern California. It's been looked after, prettified, painted in satin black. It's got a really super panel. The engine's fairly new. It's a turbine engine in these, by the way, so you get that proper whistle as you start up. And the Gazelle is an ex-military helicopter. It's very, very fast, extremely manoeuvrable. And I've flown in one with Sir Mr. Dennis Kenyon, and it's just a fantastic thing. However, the starting price is $545,000, and you can bet your life it's going to cost you the best part of that every year to keep it flying. So,
and of course, it'll leave all your friends who are watching deaf.
Yes, but I would have to wear it with full BDU's battle dress uniform as well.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't be a good look.
I think
if you won this, you could walk up to this with it in your battle dress uniform as well.
So, Ed, what's your find?
To Ed.
So looking around, I reckon the one of the nicest things I've seen come up on A4s, come up on the web in the classifieds this week. On A4s, I spotted a Piper Vagabond PA-17. This one's 18.5 grand, which is pretty good value for a Vagabond. It's a great strip aeroplane. Like I said, I've done plenty of flying in one of these. This is a 65 horse one, but it's got a brand new top end, new Millennium cylinders. It's also got the unusual 2-door fuselage, which means you don't have to load your passenger after you've started it. And I just think that's for 18.5 grand. That's a pretty good buy, I reckon. So yeah, I think that would be where the smart money goes. But if you're having a complete moment of madness, then I think what you really need is a 1929 Kreutzer Air Coach. Now this thing is completely bonkers. It's currently for sale with Platinum Fighters in the States, and it's owned by a guy called Greg Herrick, who's a well-known collector of tri-motors. I think he's probably owned more than anyone. He's probably had kind of half a dozen at any one time. And it's powered. It seats 6. It's powered by 300 horsepower Kinners, and it's the last remaining example and the only flying one in the world. Completely mad, beautifully restored, the guaranteed way. And if you're always worried about turning up at a fly-in and seeing someone else in the same aeroplane as you, I think this is definitely a way to make a unique entrance. So it's yours for how much was it? The small sum of $795,000. But I think that could bring you quite a lot of fun.
Did you say it was 300 horsepower engines?
3 100 horsepower Kinner 5-cylinder radials. So yeah, a grand total of 300. So.
That's quite a lot of aeroplane to lift with 300 horsepower.
Yeah, I would imagine you're going to feel fairly sedate in that.
It's got a big old wing, hasn't it?
The interesting thing is that it was recovered from. It was flown for years in and out of a Mexican airstrip, hauling gold ore, and eventually got ground looped at some strip at 7,000 feet, and it then sat there in a hangar for something like 40 years, and some guy. Paid a bunch of people to cut a road out of the jungle, and they hauled it out and restored it. So it's an amazing thing. So I reckon that's probably about the most bonkers thing that I could find.
So what's
How much did you say it was?
Sorry.
How much did you say it was, Ed?
It's in the States, and it was found in Mexico. It was up at some high mountain strip.
How much money?
Oh, $795,000.
That's quite a lot, isn't it?
It is quite a lot, but it is really nice.
Yeah.
Going back to the Vagabond, Ed.
Yeah.
What's that like to fly? It's really basically a side-by-side Piper Cub, isn't it?
Side-by-side Cub, but it's because it's shorter and narrower span. It's a whole lot more lively than the Cub. It's just a really nice, honest strip aeroplane. The one I fly is 85 horse, so it's got a little bit more oomph. But really, the 65 horse is adequate in it, and it's just a really nice, simple permit aeroplane.
Mm-hmm. Ed, I've got mounds of earth in my garden that are more lively than a Piper Cub.
Can't say things like that.
It's true though. Anyway, let me tell you what I found that I thought was quite funky. A Glade Swift.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, an original Glade Swift. I have to say, that is one of the most beautiful looking airplanes that I've seen for a long time. We've done the Poolies competition. So Sebastian, if you're there, thank you very much. Let me just put the Flyer Club logo back. There you go. That's better. Let's go back to the comments. Thank you very much. Jonathan Holland saying don't diss the Cub. I'm not dissing the Cub. I'm just saying it's not the most lively of airplanes, and that the earth in my garden moves slightly more quickly. Anyway,
we'll taser him later.
The Glade Swift, absolutely beautiful, beautiful aeroplane, and this one's an original one. This one, strangely enough, this one's been spent something like the last 20 years of its life in a couple of museums, but which is a good thing because it's obviously nice and shiny. But the guy who's selling it and who owns it has actually kept it annualed and flown it from time to time as well. So it's like advertised as go in and fly away. Take a guess, how much do you reckon? Pristine looking. I'm assuming it's pristine.
$45,000.
$40,000.
Wow.
$40,000.
But a lot of nice aeroplanes, but not very much money.
That's amazing, isn't it? I just think that's so beautiful, that airplane. And at $40,000 a bargain. Not that I've got $40,000 to spend on an airplane, but if I did have, that would be top of the list. Bottom of my list of airplanes to buy would be this Beech 55 Baron project. And there you go. Here's a Beech 55 Baron that landed gear up at a grass strip in Italy.
Right.
It's got the engines both need shock testing. The props are gone, and all the avionics are gone. So, on the plus side, someone's already taken it apart and put it on a trailer ready for you to drive out. Now, I reckon that's got to be worth that. If they paid me about $100,000, I reckon I might come out about even.
I think, as the Dr. Pepper slogan once said, what's the worst that could happen?
There is absolutely no way anyone will get that Baron 55 flying again for anything like sensible money. Just bonkers.
Maybe Darren at Aerotiques could turn it into a whole bunch of lampshades and other household stuff.
I think that's probably the best bet for it, to be honest, because, I mean, much as I love Barons that have been landed gear up that have got no props, no avionics, and are in Italy, and are dismantled, have got to be worth pretty much nothing. So anyway, I'm not going down that. Get back to your aircraft, Ed, the 745 grand one. I'm going to guess that looking at it, it probably cost a lot more than that to actually restore. Well,
it's probably the classic case of unique aeroplane restoration, is that they never actually, if you went to buy that, if you bought that now, you'd probably be spending a whole lot less than the restoration cost. And certainly, all the stuff in, all the aircraft in Greg Herrick's collection, and he's been selling a lot of stuff off. He had the most amazing collection of brilliant Golden Age aircraft, including in an original Taylor Aero car that's just sold. And all of his stuff was just absolutely perfect. So yeah, I think it's a chunk of change, but look at it. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's a chunk. It's just $750,000, and it's yours. Good. So that's what we found.
As much as a Cirrus is really nice, and lots of Cirruses everywhere. Imagine how much fun. Don't live the Cirrus life. Live the Kreutzer life.
Yeah, I wonder what the TBO is on those engines. It's probably about, I bet it's 500 hours or something.
Yeah, it's Kinners are kind of a bit rattly, and so 3 Kinners is going to be quite a lot rattly.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Well, there you go. So that's what we found. That's what we found that we think is good and what we think is not very good, or perhaps not a bargain, should we say? Moving on. I'm going to have a quick read through the comments. And Ed, do you want to talk about the issue?
Clearer Cloud has got the best one for that Baron. He said, bit of T-cut should sort that Baron out.
Yeah. Tell you what.
Or maybe if you submerge it.
Yeah. It should have a future like a statue.
Yeah. What can I tell you about the issue? So the issue is out, the latest issue, summer issue's out. It's got a fantastic feature about David Beale's amazing Mughal recreation. David spoke to Mark Hales, and Mark has written that feature up. Fantastic thing. For me, one of the best lines in there was the fact that I think he approaches at 80 and it stalls at 75, and if you land try and land at 85, it won't land, and it's and the fact that he's built that aeroplane and uses it just like many of us would use a regular aeroplane. That's hats off to you, David. That's real fantastic going. Research in the mag, which is a reader has looked at 20 years of engine failure after takeoff statistics, and asks the question: should you turn back or not? So that's generating some feedback. Brilliant flying adventure. Garrett Fisher took his 100 horsepower Cub around 82 peaks in the Alps. And there's a review of the Garmin GI275 3-inch round glass screen that's making waves. Really nice instrument. Does a whole bunch of different things depending on what option you buy. So see that in Top Gear. Excellent.
And if you want to get hold of the issue, go to issue.com, which is issw.com/flyer digital, and you can read it online, download it from there, or you can download the issue app and you can get it from there as well. I'm gonna start making a quick note of these aircraft suggestions here. Do you want to head over to some news, Dave, while I'm doing that?
Okay, right. Well, the big news this week, which is something we've been expecting for a while, is that the EASA has finally issued the type certificate for Pipistrel's Velis Electro. Now, this is the first fully type certified electric aircraft anywhere. So it's a really big piece of news, because now the Velis Electro can be used for all sorts of things, including commercial flight training. So which up until now, it's only the Pipistrel did have an electric aircraft, the Alpha Electro, but that wasn't fully certified. So, but now the Velis is. It's based on the power plant from the Alpha Electro and the airframe of the Pipistrel Virus 121, which is a very strange name. I don't know why they went down that route. Yeah. Anyway, that's the really big news. There's apparently Ivo Boscarol, the boss of Pipistrel, was telling me that they've already got a full order book for the next year from flying schools around Europe. The launch customer is one in Switzerland, a company called Alpine Airplanes, and they're going to be flying aircraft. It only flies for an hour at the moment, but EASA has deemed that enough for flight training. So it'll be interesting to see how they work that one out. The batteries can be easily pulled out and put back in, so it can either be recharged in situ or you can change batteries. It's a really well thought out aircraft. So that's the real big story of the week. Slightly on the nutty side is there's a story that Red Aircraft, who have made this 500 horsepower V12 diesel engine, they're looking for STC partners for aircraft to put that in. That's a bit of a project, I'd say.
It's a massive engine as well, isn't it?
It is. It's supposed to be quite light for its size, but it's still 500 horsepower V12. It's going to need a lot of bits and bobs going around it, and it's also going to consume quite a lot of fuel. So, and drive a huge propeller, I should imagine.
I guess so. The Albert Hall's quite light for its size, I'm sure.
500 horsepower powered Albert Hall.
That's going to be underpowered.
Yes. Yeah. So that's that. What else is in the news? I put a little thing, but it's actually quite popular in the flying newsletter this week. It was the most clicked on story, and that is that Shuttleworth, an old Walton airfield, has reopened. They've got restrictions in place like everywhere, but you can actually fly into that gorgeous little strip in Bedfordshire, and it's just a place with a fantastic atmosphere. There are some restrictions on going in, and there are some restrictions about when you're there, same with everywhere else at the moment. But so that's in the news. There's also something about Wales as well, flying in Wales. You know a little bit more about that, don't you, Ed?
Well, only it's an email that Steve Slater sent through earlier, because apparently there was talk that talk about GA being banned, which was said in error in the chambers there, and Steve has just forwarded a note from the Welsh Assembly, which says, because obviously the Welsh are still grounded at the moment. And it says, it's important that the people of Wales and those running businesses review the latest guidance themselves. We're asking the public to make their own judgment on whether they consider it appropriate and right under regulations to undertake certain activities. Brackets, this includes general aviation. I can't advise whether or not general aviation activity is allowed under the current guidance due to very different and specifically individual circumstances many people and businesses find themselves in. However, if you decide to undertake general aviation activity, you must be able to reasonably justify your actions if challenged. You may need bespoke legal advice. So it's thanks, guys. That's really not very clear or helpful at all, is it?
No. There's one little bit of breaking news that came out just before I got an email about it earlier this evening. So Garmin have now got STCs for their GFC 500 Air autopilot for pretty much every Piper single that, well, clearly not things like the Vagabond, but the other, all of the current Piper singles and stuff like that. So you can get a decent autopilot, not a decent autopilot, bloody brilliant autopilot, frankly, for your Piper singles now. So that's got to be good news. I did ask them which ones weren't included, and Jessica Corsair contact at Garmin said basically a couple of the rare seaplane type aeroplanes that Piper may have done in the past.
Pretty much all the regular types. That's good going.
It's exceptional, isn't it? Yeah. Good. I've got a list of these airplanes. Sorry, Ed.
Also in the news, the UK's first RV14 flew this week.
So it did.
I was wondering when you were going to get that in.
That's it. I thought you'd forgotten it. It was in the list. So built by Bill Sweetenham. He's a Bristol guy. I got to know Bill because he came to see my project when we were building, and he's built his aeroplane in just under 20 months and 1,500 hours from a quick build kit. And anyway, that's the first one on the LAA, first one under LAA auspices to fly, and the test program has kind of started now, and hopefully that's going to get done. 5 hours and a test pilot acceptance flight. Hopefully should see that done.
There's some very nice pictures of it on the Flyer website.
Yeah.
Do you know who took them, Ed?
I have no idea. At least it's Apple.
Does it go with long hair?
No. It was taken with long hair, and clearly I've had my lockdown haircut now, as I was not faring well in the lockdown haircut stakes.
No, indeed. There's a message here from David Whitcomb, who I happen to know flies in Wales, and he basically says, I'm not sure this is strictly speaking legal advice, but he says, I'm carrying on as normal, nobody cares. I happen to know David was in a previous issue of ours because he kind of flew a whole load of NHS stuff, did 2 or 3 flights on the same day, I think, taking some PPE stuff around, up to Belfast. So good on you. Are you allowing your residents to fly? Duty airport manager for Sturgate, only open for engineering services at the moment. That's a bit of a shame. I'm sure everything will be good soon. I want to run through the list of aeroplanes that have been suggested as the. There's clearly someone buttering up to Ed because they've gone RV6, 7, or 8.
That was who was that? That was Johnny Salmon. He's steer with my rear on Instagram, worth following. Johnny, no, that's black mark.
Concorde, DC-10, BAC-111, Bearcats, Corny, CFM Street Shadow. That's an interesting entry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cessna 150, Cessna 172, Cessna 195 polished. That's a good one. Spartan Executive, not bad. Bit rare. Tiger Moth, Hawker 800 stroke HS125, and Sunderland Flying Boat. And then Sean McDonald's going, Easy Raider is the nicest.
Easy Raider.
I don't know.
Ruscombe.
Cessna 195 is a pretty good shout. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we have a three-way? Oh, there's a few more late entries. Favorite aircraft Europa tri-gear. Slinky Sight, Epic E1000 Carbon Carb. Yeah, Carbon Carb's a good thing. Epic. I've flown an Epic, but the guy I flew it with had almost no interest in the airplane. Just wanted to show me the avionics, which is a little bit tedious. So, does anyone want to come up with a short list, or we'll take a vote, a three-way vote on it?
It says the one is pretty. That's pretty nice.
No, someone's mentioned a Falco.
What got missed? Spitfire.
Fairly common.
Miles Magister from Neil. I do like a Miles Maggi. Sorry. Cessna Bird Dog. Yeah, no. Hello, Shona. How you doing? PC-12. Could do one of those as well. Wouldn't mind that. Oh, there's lots of great options here. Jonathan Thruster. I think you might not be winning this wonderful PPL kit with your Thruster idea.
Thruster's a lovely little aeroplane.
I know it's a lovely little airplane, but
on his collection of tubes.
It's up a Rachel, second vote for Dion. No, it's not like that. It's not you voting. We're the ones who are voting.
I don't know. Katie Stark suggested Beach Staggerwing.
Staggerwing's pretty lovely, isn't it?
I know. I know you've got a hang up about the fin, though.
Well, yeah, because clearly they got the apprentice to design the fin, and he just did it in completely the wrong scale. It looks awful. You just have to not look at the fin of a Staggerwing.
Right. Someone's mentioned an Islander there. Have you ever flown an Islander?
No.
I've flown one with Bob Davey. Remember, Bob Davey used to write for Flyer and Pilot.
I do.
Yeah, we flew to we flew from Denham, I think it was, which is quite small, the strip at Denham, to Bembridge, and then came back, and it was a bit squeaky going into Denham, I have to say. Such a big aircraft, a small strip. What else? Have we got a decision yet?
Well, Cessna 195 gets my vote. I think that's quite cool and rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you? Well, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go for the Islander. In that case, so that gives you a deciding. Well, maybe not a deciding vote, but maybe you can get for a third one. What do you reckon?
Paul Sengupta has suggested the Traveller Mystery Ship.
I know it was a stunning picture of it I saw the other day, and it is lovely, but it's a one-off, isn't it? It's not there's anything wrong with that. JL D9, D9. I quite like a little D9. No, I've changed my mind. The Islander, I'm afraid, has dropped off of my list of things. I'm gonna put my vote behind the Cessna 195.
I think we're all agreed on that.
Yeah. Okay.
A worthy winner of a polished aeroplane. So I don't know who won. Who was it who suggested Cessna 195?
Either way, contact us. We'll get in touch with you.
Contact us. We'll get in touch with you. We'll send you your PPL starter kit, or alternatively, depending on where you are in the UK, we might even drop it into your nearest airfield one day.
Even if that involves dropping it out the window. No, clearly not.
Yeah, but we'll definitely navigate with the CRP thingy.
Yeah, right.
Not.
Yeah.
Great. Congratulations. Oh, hello, Poolies. Thank you very much for coming along, and thank you very much for supplying the prize. I'm sorry for everyone who didn't win. We're going to have a bunch more prizes and a bunch more competitions in a few over the next weeks. I'm sure we got a whole load of stuff that we can give away. If not, I'm sure we'll find something, won't we? Buy someone a cup of tea. Anyway, thank you very much. We have got about 40 seconds left till 8 o'clock. Next week, what are we going to do next week? More of the same? Favorite destinations? Worst destinations? That's a little bit, maybe not worst destinations. That's not very positive.
Ideas to do good ones. So places we've been to that are a bit out of the way.
Yeah, no, you can do that. You can do that. I'm going to use the last 20 seconds to say thank you to everybody who's joined the Flyer Club. Anybody who's not a member of the Flyer Club, we'd really appreciate it if you join. The latest issue, the summer issue, is up at issue.com, and I put the address for that further up. It's been a pleasure having you here. We look forward to seeing you all next week, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.